All right, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another little sit down here. I'm with my boy Faiz. He is a serial entrepreneur here. He's actually gone ahead and built and exited several companies, and now his main company is now about mental health for entrepreneurs. And I'm really excited to have him on because, mental health and you're having a strong mental frame is really, really important nowadays because so many people are at a weird point mentally, and you're coming to save the day for helping all new entrepreneurs and even successful entrepreneurs to be more focused and just level up. So thank you for coming on, and go ahead and do a quick intro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My background's, first off, my name is Faiz Imran. I'm currently working on a project called Vively. It's the founder wellness platform for entrepreneurs and gig workers and freelancers all around the world. To tell you more about the story, I'd love to dive into my background a little bit,
Go ahead,
how
bro.
we got here and how it came about.
For sure.
I've had a couple companies in the media, marketing, and creator space that we've exited. But specifically, the concept of Vively came from my last company when I was working on my company Backspace, which is the creator platform for building and monetizing communities online. And it was through that journey of building that company as I was raising capital. One of my earliest investors was Vincent Infante. Vincent Infante is a pretty well-known coach. He's I think spoke aside like Les Brown. He was at VCon, and he's I think close to 15 years of experience. So he was one of my investors, and he's a coach, and he's not cheap. He's one of the best, so he's expensive. But in general, I didn't really believe in the coaching or therapy. I was like, nah, I don't need that. I can thug this out.
That's how I was.
I'll be fine. And a lot of entrepreneurs are like that. It's because we're problem solvers. So if we have a problem, we think to solve it ourselves. To be fully honest, there's a lot that goes into it. But I was like, I don't need this. But because he was an investor, not only did he want to protect his investment, of course, but he wanted to make sure to kind of open my mind. Mm-hmm. So he stayed consistent with it, and over time, as we built that company, we raised capital, we scaled, we launched, etc. He was alongside me and just pushed me up when I needed help, when sometimes I didn't even believe in myself, and he did, and he was able to pull me out of downward spirals, just be that person that was always there, that didn't really ask for anything. Granted, he was an investor, but at the same time, it's just the level of I guess care that he showed, checking in, making sure, just consistent rock. And we, built Backspace. We got acquired just a couple months back. And right before we got acquired, I was talking to Vin. I was looking back throughout all the companies I've built. It's been an intense mental battle. It's about staying good up here so you can actually build good companies. Because if you're not good up here and you're trying to project great things or amazing things onto the world, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
You have to be very mentally strong. You got to be it's in the right headspace to be able to build great things. And I think there's a lot of online mental health options. You got BetterHelp, you got BetterUp. There's a whole bunch of online therapy, but none that really resonate with an entrepreneur or a founder. So the concept was to build a platform and to give founders and entrepreneurs the wellness toolkit that I wish I had while building, because I've done it from A to Z, from building it, inception, idea, bootstrapping. I've also fundraised all the way to acquisition. And
yeah, you got a diverse background in terms of all that stuff.
So through that journey, the things that I wish I had in terms of support system, in terms of the groups around me, my circle, the coaches, the curriculum, just the things that I learned that developed me as a person, as a character, as a founder, as a leader. And so with Vively, what it is, like I said, it's a founder wellness platform, but the way that looks and how that works is every week we pair multiple entrepreneurs. So we'll find people with similar strengths, weaknesses, and similar stages of business as you that we think will be good matches. We'll use AI to actually determine that. And we'll actually throw in a professional coach / therapist into that mix to facilitate that call. And it'll be an hour-long call. In that hour-long call, we're talking about highlights. We celebrate your wins. A lot of founders and entrepreneurs don't celebrate their wins enough. So we'll celebrate the wins together. We'll talk about lowlights, what didn't go as planned this week. We'll talk about goal progress from last week. We'll set goals for next week. And in addition to that coach that's facilitating the call is taking down action steps to actually make sure you know how to get to those goals. Yeah. And then to top it all off, towards the end of the call, we'll talk about marketing, brainstorming, free time, talk about relationship, life, business, whatever is on your mind, so you can have a clear mind, talk it out with people that are like-minded, and with a professional coach.
Yeah.
Then throughout the week, we'll follow up with you on the goals that you said you'd hit.
Accountability.
We're going to make sure, like you said, you're going to work out. Did you work out? Why not? And a lot of that it's actually really interesting. Entrepreneurs are usually accountable for themselves, their teams, their companies, to their investors. It's all them. When it comes to a job, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not hitting the goals you're supposed to, you're going to get fired. You're going to get maybe a couple of warnings, and then that's it. You're out. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, you're not going to get fired. You're going to start losing clients. You're going to get burned out. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be stressed out, anxious, lonely. You're going to suffer, but you're going to stay in that like kind of spiral unless you're able to pull yourself out, have someone pull you out, have someone on the outside, your circle. You need kind of that support system to help pull you out. So we do the accountability for you and keep you accountable for the things that you say you're going to do. And then to top it off, we also give you a couple one-to-one sessions with that coach so you can talk about things that maybe are more personal that you wouldn't want to share with the group. And all of this is close to like a $7,500 value in just the coach's time alone, but you get it for just $500 a month with Vively.
It's a lot for that price.
It's a lot for the price, but the goal was to create something that has massive impact and to do it at a price that is like pretty much a no-brainer. So
yeah, it's affordable for most people, especially people that are entrepreneurs.
If you're not able to afford it, to be fully honest, like you're not qualified.
You shouldn't be in it.
Yeah. Most of our customers, at minimum, they're making at least $10,000 a month. Some of them are making. I think I have one or two that make $5,000 a month, but they really prioritize and they know how valuable it is. But if you're making under that, it doesn't really make sense. But we have customers all the way up to people that like run $100 million companies. And of course, if you run a $100 million company, we're not going to put you in a batch with someone that runs a $5,000 company, $5,000 a month company, unless they've had like 30 exits or something. But so we do look at that. And another element to it is that networking element. We do make batches of people, but every couple months we'll cycle the batches. We give you enough time to build trust, really get deep with these people. So it's not just surface level, everyone trying to sell each other. It's none of that. It's really genuine connection, right? Yeah. Trusting these people, like building with them, learning with them. And then we give you a new batch. But that's the gist of what we're building at Vively and kind of why we built it, the story behind it, and where it came from.
No, I laugh because there's been groups I've been in where like you join it and then people are just trying to sell each other. It's like, bro, like, are you serious? Like,
no, and that's how it goes. And it's just like so disingenuine. Like it's not real. It's just like, yo, it's like speed matching. Yo, you want to be a customer or not? Like, yo, you want to invest or not? Like, and that's not how you build long-term relationships.
No.
With us, everybody's getting vulnerable. They're being open. But the expectation is you're also vulnerable and open because it's not fair if one person's only, being vulnerable.
Of course
and open.
Not, yeah.
We have a vetting process as well. Like when you sign up, there's an onboarding. We see if you're a good fit. If you're not, you get your money back. We also offer 30-day money-back guarantee if you show up to all 4 sessions in the month and you're not happy with it. Like our goal is to improve your life. And if we're not able to do that, we don't want you to pay. We don't think it's fair. But with that being said, we've had over 90% retention so far. And
that's very good.
People have stayed healthy. And we're raising our seed round currently, and it's pretty much wrapped up. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's fire. And I want to talk about as well. We talked about your media company that got bought out, right?
I exited that media company. I stepped away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you started it though, right?
So my what it looked like was Everscent, which is a fragrance releasing apparatus. It was like, think of a car freshener, but for the person. As you walked around, it made you smell good. Kickstarter project, we got the IP acquired, like the patents and such. And then from there, and by the way, I'm just talking about my wins. Don't think I had like a perfect record. I had like 10 companies failing between this.
That's just how it is, yeah.
But then I had Fisma, which was my next win. It was my marketing agency. We did web development and social media influencer work for large companies, like Fortune 500 companies. And that got acquired in 2020. I also exited Business Blurb around the same time. Then I got into Backspace, which is the first company I raised capital for. And then once that got acquired just last month, and last month as in June 2023, I jumped into Vively earlier this year because I knew the acquisition conversations were happening. And I kind of wanted to start on something before,
You wanted to start something new before you were...
I didn't want to be sitting around because, between Fisma and when I had Fisma and I had Business Blurb, between that and Backspace, dude, I was traveling the world, and it was fun, but I was, low-key depressed. I didn't have anything to work on. I had no passion, no purpose, really. I was just what am I doing? It's not a good feeling. It's a good feeling to wake up every day with a purpose, a mission, something you're working towards. So with that now, I feel like this Vively holds a very close place in my heart. Entrepreneurs are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than any other, group in the general population.
Really?
No one's focusing on them.
Why is that, you think? Because we feel a lot of the pressure on ourselves?
It's that when you work with entrepreneurs, it's about what you call it. Like, quite honestly, there's a stigma behind like getting mental help and therapy as an entrepreneur. But realistically, we don't call it that. What it is it's accountability. It's like mental wellness. You want an edge on everyone else? Be good up here. Yeah. It's gonna give you an edge on anyone else. If you can be good in the mind without drugs, without like outside factors, and you can truly just be grounded, dude, you can't lose because you're at peace with yourself.
Yeah, that's so important, bro.
It's insane.
Because like going back to the point you just made like a couple seconds ago regarding like traveling the world, maybe on a surface level you looked super successful, but internally
I didn't feel that way. I had nothing to do. I'd wake up and be like, I'd go to sleep like there's nothing to do. Yeah. Like
I have a similar experience because a couple years ago I was like successful like on a foundational level, but then I had nothing else to do. I would wake up at like midnight, or I would wake up at like noon, 1 p.m., eat shitty food, and I would wonder why. Oh, why don't I feel good? Like, why am I like depressed? And looking back, it's so obvious. It's because I had no purpose, no reason to even wake up.
Exactly.
And I wasn't giving myself a reason to do anything. But,
and it also comes down to the people you're around. Like, we kind of force you to be around quality people, at least for 1 hour every week. What you do outside of that, is up to you. But we ideally want you to be around good people because that really affects what you're doing. Yeah. I was actually really, really burnt out when I exited those companies. Like super depressed, super burnt out, super lonely. Couldn't really relate to anyone. Anyone I tried to talk to, they're like they'd be like, "Yo, you're unappreciative. You just sold your companies for a whole bunch of money, and you're sad." And I'd be like, "Dude, I want purpose. I want something that like gets me excited every day." Like a lot of people say, money doesn't buy happiness. And look, I think money can be leveraged. I think money's a tool. Money gives you options. You can use money to do things that will maybe make you happy, but money itself won't get you happiness. Yeah. I use that money to build amazing companies to help people that made me happy, and I find fulfillment in that.
It's through purpose.
But yeah, no, going from burned out to having nothing to do when you sell your company or you exit or you wind down is not it's very unfulfilling. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah, out of the entrepreneurs I spoke to here, a lot of them don't believe in the concept of retirement. Because I think there's like a statistic or something, but like, especially for guys, for like men, when they retire, I forget exactly what it is, but when somebody retires, they're more likely to just be lonely, be directionless, and as a result, die earlier. Because their whole life, you're like, working towards something, working towards a goal, climbing a new mountain. And then when you retire, it's like, okay, now what? Like, some people can like be cool with not doing stuff and just hanging around just on the TV or on the couch watching TV. Yeah. But
a lot of founders
and entrepreneurs can't do that because we're so used to doing this all the time.
It's hard to just have fun and do nothing.
Yeah, and my friends, one of my friends' family members, he has one of the biggest land like properties in the entire state of New Jersey. Dude's in his 80s and he just launched another company.
That is badass. That's goals, man.
It's insane.
If you're mentally fit, you're physically fit, why not? Age is just a number at that point. Yeah. That's really cool.
It's great. Like, he's so successful, and now he's like, you know what? Run it back. I'm gonna do another one.
I mean, that just sounds like the dream. And at that point, if you have enough capital, it's just like a passion project. Yeah. Like, a lot of people say, do it, follow your passion, this and that. I think following your passion as a company, as a business, is a luxury you have to earn.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And if he's able to do that, that's baller. But
yeah.
Anyways, anyone watching, if you guys are thinking about mental health or thinking about focusing on your well-being, being locked in, getting that edge over everyone else, check us out at vively, vibely.ai. And give it a shot. Like I said, it's no risk. If you don't like it, you try it for 30 days, you show up. And you don't like it, we give you a refund. No questions asked.
What is your backstory of even wanting to become an entrepreneur? Like, what put you on this path to wanting to crave or to carve your own path?
That's actually pretty cool. It's a random story, but it's very specific. There's like one exact event that happened that made me start hustling. When I was younger, I grew up in a lower income family. Like, we got the things that we wanted, but we didn't get phones or anything like that. Like, that was no. Yeah. But I was also young back then. People didn't have phones. Like, I feel like now third grader will have a phone. Like, it wasn't like that. So I was maybe I think 9 years old, and the iPhone had just come out, the first ever iPhone. And I was like, oh, I want it. I had a friend who had more money and he had it. I'm like, Mom, I want it. And she's like, no, well, what do you need a phone for? And then like a year passed. And I'm like, I still want it. And I couldn't get it. And my mom was like, if you want it, then you have to make the money. My mom said that out of like, how are you going to make $200-300? Like, you're like 9, you know? But what I did was I had like $20-30 saved up from like, you know, money that my grandma gave me here and there. And
It's always grandma's money.
Literally, right? And I used that. And when we went to like, I think Dollar Store or something, I bought like 1 or 2 phone cases. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sell these to the rich kids at school. So I bought like, I think it was like $1 or $2 for the case. It was really cheap. I used that and I sold it to the kids at school for like $15. Because the thing is, they wanted the case. They had like also a little saved up money, but they weren't going to go ask their parents. They're not going to go on Amazon. Wasn't even like, I don't think anyone really used Amazon. But anyways, so like, sold to those kids, and I was just selling the rich kids things. And then I started asking the rich kids what they wanted that their parents wouldn't let them have. And I would go buy that for them. Like
that's smart.
It was like small random things. Like they wanted little firecrackers, or they wanted like little fidget spinner. Like they didn't have fidget spinners, but little fidget toys or things like that. So I would do that, and I saved up like $200-300, which was enough to buy that phone. In about like 6-7 months, and then I was like, hell yeah, like this is the life. Like I hustled it, I made it, I got the phone. And then honestly, I wasn't content. I kept the phone for like a couple months, and then resold the phone to some other kid who wasn't allowed to get a phone, but he gave me more than it was like.
You flipped it.
I flipped the phone, and then from there it just kept going. And then a couple years later, got into fidget spinners. With fidget spinners, I was actually like, I didn't realize it, but I was following like some type of like crazy model that like low key like drug dealers use. Like I was like I was like fronting people fucking fidget spinners, and I didn't realize like it was fucking working. What I would do, I'd buy like batches of them, and then because I couldn't reach other schools to expand like my territory with the fidget spinners, my territory. I didn't think of it like that, but it's hilarious now to expand the territory that I covered, like which schools I covered with the fidget spinners, because I would compete with a couple friends. And I was like, that's my fucking school. I'm like, nah, bro, that's my school. Like we would like try to compete. So I would to outcompete everybody because everyone was wholesaling. I just gave like certain kids 10 fidget spinners at a time. Like, yo, keep these, sell them. When you make the money, give me some. And they were like down. So and I called it the free supply program. And I had a whole website. Yeah, I had a whole website, had a funnel and everything. At this point, I think I'm 14, like about to turn 15. So I'm running it up. Dude, I make like $3,000 a month just selling fidget spinners. It was insanity. Insane. And then I remember learning about like, I tried Alibaba. I tried, I don't even know what the other one was, but the one I stuck with was DHgate. They had good prices and the fastest delivery. My biggest issue is I would sell out too fast, and I didn't have enough capital to keep ordering super large ones.
It's a good issue to have.
But it was a good issue. From there, I was like, sat down. I'm like, I don't want to make a couple $1,000s. I want to be a fucking millionaire. So I started looking at fastest way to become a millionaire, and of course, I tried Forex, lost all my money. I tried stocks, penny stocks, anything fast. Like I tried all of it, lost all my money. To eventually, I like Googled like, how did the billionaires of the world become billionaires? And like I found the common theme, a lot of them had startups, or they had done something that disrupted the space, something that was kind of just way different than a simple, like rinse and repeat business model. So then I was like, I want to do a startup. And then I bought a 3D printer, started prototyping, and that's where Evercent, my first startup, came from. And that's kind of the start.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of the people, you hear the story of like the entrepreneurs when they were younger selling candy in school and stuff, but you were selling like little fidget toys and stuff.
I was seeing what the market wanted and literally catering. I was like their like personal shopper, literally. I mean, I'd never sold candy. I didn't think it was high ticket enough.
Well, to be fully honest. Back then you were thinking like that?
No, because I'm like, yo, I can sell one thing. I'm still gonna have to go to the store. Still gonna have to ask my mom to take me here. Still gonna have to do this, and I can make $2. Yeah. Or I can make $15 a pop. Yeah. I chose the $15 a pop.
Always higher ticket, bro.
High ticket, always. Yeah, less clients, more money per client. Always.
Yep. That's why I love SAAS so much, because like you can charge higher ticket and you don't need as many clients, and it's recurring.
And not all the time, but a lot of the time.
Yeah, like typically, yeah. I mean, your program
we're recurring. Yeah,
my stuff's recurring. I think it's the best way for cash flow.
Yeah,
because then you can go ahead and reinvest that money into either other investments or even back into the business at like a predictable rate.
I think it's the next wave. And of course it's like, obviously it's the next wave. But what I mean when I say that is I don't think it's going to be possible to raise for businesses that aren't making cash on day one. I think the time of building businesses like Backspace, I've done it. I built it. But building businesses where you have to raise capital to build a platform, and then you have to get users. You have to raise more money to get the users, by the way. Then you have to raise more money to retain the users, and then you got to figure out how to make money. I think that business model isn't. Not the time for that anymore. I think now it's a time of find an urgent problem that people are willing to pay for, get people to pay for it, then build the software, then build a company, then raise capital to scale it faster. And that's exactly what we're doing with Vively.
Yeah, it's 100% facts. I agree with that because now, I mean, even earlier, a lot of the guys were saying, it's harder or it's more expensive and harder now to acquire a customer.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that what you're doing is actually going to work before you go ahead and build everything out. Because I've made the mistake in the past of, building something, thinking the product's going to be good. But
It's a
then
lot of
when
time.
What?
It's a lot of time invested for.
Yeah.
Like what people don't realize, dude, in this day and age, if you're solving a really pressing problem, you throw a type form up, and if it's a really pressing problem, people will fill that type form up and pay you.
Mm-hmm. It's just about figuring out exactly what people want and supplying that need.
Exactly.
Problem solving, as you said earlier.
Hell yeah, that's what we do. We're entrepreneurs. We solve problems. We make problems into money.
What was Luke saying yesterday?
Pretty much that.
Yeah. He was,
yeah. He's like, problems print cash or something of that nature. He's like, we see problems as dollar signs.
Yeah.
Not as issues.
Yeah. I forgot what the saying was, but yeah, it was something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Paraphrasing. But as you guys can see, we are a Capital Club here in Spain. I know, obviously, by the set, you can't tell like where we're at and stuff, but, bro, I think meeting everyone here has been a really, really good experience. I know for you, of course, going back and networking with a bunch of people.
I've had a blast. The people we've met people that are like 17-year-olds making like a couple $100,000.
It makes no sense.
To billionaires. Like
Yeah.
just the quality of people here is insane. It's immaculate. If you guys are invited, you got to show up. It's no question.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, this is our first. Well, is your first Capital Club?
This is my
event?
first Capital Club event.
Yeah. Same here. So
yeah.
I was saying earlier too. I think it's one of the best events I've been to in terms of entrepreneurship, mastermind type of community that I've been a part of. But yeah, I mean, learning from each other's businesses is something we've been doing with everyone here because you're always going to learn something different outside of your business, but you can always then learn it and apply it into your own models and stuff like that. I mean, like me personally, I've been able to learn from you, learn from other entrepreneurs, and be like, I can tweak a few things in what I'm doing. Especially earlier, Victor, I forget his last name, but the affiliate marketer.
Victor Smush.
Is that
Smush, what it is? That's his like IG. He's
okay,
like,
yeah. Well, if you guys don't know, I didn't know until recently. He was the #1 affiliate for Hustlers University ever. Like, bro was making apparently 15K cash profit per day. And I think upwards of $1 million net per month, which is insane. And I noticed
off of one customer. That's not his whole agency, by the way. Like, that's like one of his customers, which is baller.
It was just the Tate's model. And I think another thing which is really interesting too is one of my major takeaways of this entire event is to not, I don't want to say judge, but not judge a book by its cover or not have an assumption just by reading somebody. Because
this guy met a billionaire and didn't know he was a billionaire. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was at breakfast yesterday. It was me, Jordan Welch, and Jordan's girlfriend. And like right next to me is like some older Asian guy, in middle, like mid-30s. We were just talking about crypto, talking about markets and stuff like that. And then in the middle of the conversation, he was like, yeah, I got into crypto in 2013 or 2011.
I think it was 11, yeah.
And I looked at him. I was like, I've talked to a lot of guys that are in crypto, and not many are in before 2015. And then we kept talking. He's like, yeah, I built a payment processing business or company in 2008, 2009, and sold it in like 2011. And he's like, yeah, I dumped like all the profit into Bitcoin before it was $1. And when he said that, I was like, yo, who am I talking to right now?
I've heard a lot of other conversations with him. I've chatted with him
Yeah.
like for the whole day pretty much today. I'm not going to say what I chatted about. I don't want to like give his identity away.
Yeah.
But no, he's definitely a billionaire and
Yeah.
definitely one of the most humble people I've met.
Totally.
Which is just so much respect.
That was completely tying to what I was like talking about. Like, you never know who you're talking to. Like, it seems like the guys that are set like that are always the most quiet. Because they have nothing to prove.
Exactly,
Hey,
yeah. Jinx,
reading our
you
minds.
get it, yeah.
But it's really interesting and really, really cool.
Anyways, it's been good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro.
We're running out of time here. It's getting late.
Yeah? We are a little bit past time. But, bro, Faiz, I really appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
And,
yeah, you'll see some more content with us in the future. And, guys, of course, if you enjoyed the little sit down right here, of course, show some support. I'll go ahead and tag you in the description.
Sweet.
And I'll catch you in the next video, guys.
Thank you.